Flyover State of Film was shot in front of a live studio audience.
And we're back. Welcome back to another Flyover State of Film. We're doing a flyby for you guys. We missed doing brackets, bracketeers, the brackets. We decided to. Well, first let me say again, as always, Brian, Joe, TJ, how are my babies?
Hey
Here's a shot for you.
guys.
Feeling good, feeling strong.
Ooh, do a little shots.
Kind of wake up. So, we decided to do a bracket. Maybe you saw already the title. We're talking about character actors. We're talking about that actor that maybe at first you were like, hey, I kind of seen that person before. To, hey, isn't that guy from that thing? And now every time you see them, you go, fuck yes, they're in this movie, they're in this TV show. That actor that just brightens up any scene or any movie. Maybe TJ or Joe or whoever is gonna put up the pool that we came up with. I'm gonna be upfront. I fucked it up. Should have done 32 or should have done 16. I did 24, but it will work out in the end. Don't worry. Movie magic, like everything in life. I'm not gonna fix my mistakes. I'm just gonna act like I did it on purpose.
Just gonna edit the buttholes out in post.
Yeah. Just live in the wedding rings. So guys, before we actually go into the matchups, out of the ones that we pared down prior to recording, because nobody wants to hear a 4-hour recording of 24 character actors, what actor was hard for you to let go? What matchup was hard for you?
There were a couple that I thought were hard. I love character actors. Fans. My fans out there, all my fans that watch this show will remember that the DVD bunker always had a character corner, where we would call out a great character actor who was in whatever movie we were talking about. I mean, that was one of our classic bits that everybody.
It was good. It was good.
But I was
Took too long.
Some of the matchups that were really hard for me. We had Tom Wilkinson versus Richard Jenkins. I think that's a really hard one. I really like Tom Wilkinson from Batman Begins, and we mentioned Ghost in the Darkness and a bunch of other movies. And then Richard Jenkins, who's in Shape of Water and Everything with the right one in. Danny Trejo, which I don't think I have to tell anybody who Danny Trejo is, but he went up against Stephen Root, who I think another thing that Stephen Root does that I think a lot of great character actors end up on TV too. They bounce back and forth. You'll see great because they're like working man's actors, so they do both. Yeah. But obviously Stephen Root in like all the Coen brothers.
We're gonna talk about him. He made it.
Yeah.
He made it.
And then the other one that I thought was really hard was Stephen Tobolowsky of Groundhog Day fame against Clancy Brown of Everything. So those are some really hard ones. As we talk about them, you'll see who won and who got into the actual bracket. Those ones were tough for me, though.
I forget if he got voted out or didn't even make it, but Mark Strong.
Yeah,
he was an honorable mention.
He's a great modern, newer generation of character actor.
Yeah. That's a great point, Joe. But yeah, he was one of the honor mentions that kind of surpassed the character actor name, kind of like the Stanley Tucci's, the Michael Shannon's, the Olivia.
I know who I struggled with initial voting is William Fichtner.
Yeah.
I think he's always solid when he pops up, even in the movie Flyover movie that you guys did not like, Drive Angry.
He's in there.
He was great as the accountant.
He made it.
Oh, he made
He's
it?
a-
I
Yeah.
didn't vote for him in his matchup.
Okay.
I went
But his
for
matchups are-
Joe Latruglio, who I think is, I guess, he's always great. I mean, just consistently good as Boyle on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I feel like what had me vote against Joe Latruglio was that I feel like he only shows up in things that like people from the state work on. He's not somebody I see all the time in lots of different stuff. He like has a very set, at least in my.
Joe Latruglio should be playing a detective in a Coen Brothers movie all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's his speed. He just hasn't done it yet.
I'd watch it. I'd watch that.
How about you, TJ?
I mean, for me, Catherine Hahn was a nice one.
Yeah, I have that one written down.
She had a tough matchup going against Keith David in this one,
Yeah,
and then
that's
also,
rough.
I mean, she's coming later in films, and just like she's killed almost everything you see in, whether it's horror, comedy, or just a straight laced drama.
You can tell a great character actor because they always start out as being that person from a particular movie you really like. And for me, it was Step Brothers with her. I was like, oh, remember? She was the wife in Step Brothers. She's fucking funny. And it took me probably like 3 or 4 years to learn her name and see her in a couple other things.
Yeah, and like take some more meat.
I had a weird crush on her from Step Brothers. I mean,
that's okay.
Yeah.
I have a reverse crush on her on Step Brothers. The more I see Step Brothers, I'm like, man, just something about the sister-in-law.
It's growing on me. It's growing on me.
Yeah.
I want to mention one. Actually, Michael Stuhlbarg from Fargo series, Call Me by Your Name, Chippewater. He's a great, solid,
serious man. He had his own starring vehicle.
And the hardest for me to let go, and he's probably my favorite character actor, is Emmett Walsh from Blood Simple, Blade Runner, and he was recently in Nights Out.
If you guys don't know from those things,
Christmas with the Cranks.
Christmas with the
terrible movie.
He was also in Knives Out recently, which was like a breath of fresh air to see him again. He's super fucking old right now. You know, that's what happens with life. But if you've never seen Blood Simple, he fucking steals that movie. He's fantastic in that movie.
And you know somebody who should have been in the talks, and I don't know if it ever got brought up, and I'll just throw it out right now because you mentioned old guys. Bruce Dern should have been in. His name at least should have been tossed out at some point, even if to be shot down because he's too famous. But he should have been.
The saddest thing I've ever seen about Bruce Dern is we stumbled upon one of those bad ABC like Lifetime Christmas movies from like 2015, so not that long ago, maybe 16, and he's fucking in it as the grandpa. And is he just even in that movie a caliber bet? It's called Pete's Christmas. As a caliber better
way too good for the movie he's in.
How did Emmett Walsh not make it?
You guys didn't vote for him. That's how
it happened. Yes, but he had a terrible. Who was his matchup? Tell the people who he was matched up against.
Yeah, his matchup was fun.
His matchup was brutal.
TJ has it.
His matchup was Brenden Gleeson. So yeah, of course.
I think Emmett could have Brenden Gleeson.
This matchups were randomized. There was no favoritism, so that he got screwed. Because Brenden is pretty much.
How would you even seed something like this?
No. All right,
the best supporting actor nominations.
Who was the most Oscar supporting Oscar noms?
I mean, Janey. We're
best percentage.
She actually won an Oscar. Maybe she should have won. But nevertheless, enough with the prelude. We're gonna actually get into the matchups. I'm gonna tell the guys who are the matchups we're gonna talk about. We're gonna go in order of TJ, Joe, Brian, then me, and then rotate like we've always done in our past brackets. Okay, so TJ, our first matchup of our actual argument round, not our text rounds, is our redhead of the stars, Miss Judy Greer, versus Clancy in Everything Brown. Judy Greer, known for her rom-com, for her Arrested Development, for her Archer, Ant-Man, Halloween.
I was saying, always ever playing moms. Judy Greer is famous for playing moms right now.
And Best Friends.
and rom-com best friends. And Clancy Brown highlights his Starship Troopers and Shawshank Redemption. If
Highlander, come on.
Highlander. Go ahead, TJ. It's your floor.
Pet Sematary 2. I'm going to just leave that one out. I mean, that's a classic.
Lex Luthor on Superman animated show.
Yes. He also played Solomon Grundy in Gotham or one of those fucking... Oh, Arrow. Anyway.
He was on The Mandalorian. Talk about a working man. He was just in The Mandalorian.
And then we're doing that now, and I'm going to save it for later, because this one, it's not as tough as I would think. One of these people holds a very tough, close place in my heart. The other one is just a great actor that, again, plays kind of the mom all the time and the friend, but I don't know. Not that she doesn't have enough... it's got to be Clancy Brown for me. I'll talk about him more later. I want to save a little bit and let the other guys get into it. But Clancy Brown.
Joe, where are you going with this one?
I'm not even gonna lie, it's Judy Greer. Judy Greer is an absolute champion. She's fucking always solid, always shows up, and she does give diversity. She doesn't just only plays a mom or a best friend. She has had some solid work, and she does just take, she works. Whether she's doing a 20-minute comedy or a full-length movie, I'm always thrilled to see Judy Greer, and she does have like good turns and something like Jeff Who Lives at Home and things like that.
All right, that's fair. I like your train of thought. Brian, where are you going with this one?
Yeah, you can't lie that Judy Greer fucking knocks it out of the park. Like, every time she's on screen. Also, little known fact, I don't know if it's little known, maybe it's not, but in her string of moms, Jurassic World and Ant-Man, she also plays Cornelia in the Planet of the Apes movies, which is Caesar's wife who has the baby.
I did know
and
that.
And the reason that she's into that is because her husband is like a huge fan of the original Planet of the Apes, like old school Planet of the Apes, and they actually had a Planet of the Apes themed wedding where Planet of the Apes played on a screen, like at the bar during their reception. So that's a badass thing about Judy Greer. That being said, I'm voting for Clancy Brown.
My man. I also get Judy Greer confused with the sister of Joan Cusack all the time.
She'll always be Kitty from Arrested Development first.
Kitty,
yeah,
she was in the Hebrew Hammer.
I first met her in Archer. She was the voice of the crazy secretary.
Good voiceover work should be one of the criteria for this. That's going to be a defining factor, I think, for me, is who is like a real character actor also is a voiceover artist.
Yes. There's a couple of them that have great voice roles, but
I have a coin just in case.
If Judy Greer has that leg up on Archer, we have to mention that Clancy Brown is the voice of Mr. Crab in fucking SpongeBob.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. He's fucking Mr. Krabs. He's not fucking Mr. Krabs. He is fucking
I bet you on the internet you can find some images.
Yeah. But Clancy Brown for me is 100% Starship Troopers. Like, that fucking role is so goddamn good. And I love Judy Greer. And she's literally, if you look at my spreadsheet, she's literally the first name I wrote down when I gave you guys she was the first name I wrote down. But
we did have to have some women on here.
We have women and people and others.
It's all Patty. Everybody, give yourself a quick pat on the back for how fucking woke you are. Oh man, we represent women, minorities.
You guys want to talk about Tara Reid?
With that said, the first person to get eliminated is a woman. So Clancy Brown.
She would have rode far for me. Just.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah, but I do think Clancy Brown to me is a dark horse. He could win the whole thing. So I think she had a rough go, no matter what.
And talking about a fucking.
I'm sorry she didn't act hard enough in a movie for everyone.
Yeah. Toni Collette could have been on this list before Hereditary, but she's too big now.
I agree. She should have gotten an Oscar according.
I don't know. I would have argued her borderline. She was. I don't know. This is not the Toni Collette podcast, so let's just continue.
But that's coming soon, Flyover fans. Don't you worry.
We're going to have a special guest, Dan, who's going to talk about how she was robbed.
So our next matchup is a juggernaut of a matchup. I think all of them are gonna be fucking hard, except one of them. I think is gonna be a landslide. We have Peter. Who wants to say his last name because I'm gonna fuck it up?
Stormare. Peter Stormare.
Thank you. From Fargo, Constantine, The Big Lebowski, Minority Report, John Wick 2, versus William Fichtner from Armageddon, The Dark Knight, Drive Angry, Black Hawk Down, and Your Mama's Basement. Like he is.
I love when he popped up in The Dark Knight. That was like I was literally like, yeah, look, there he is.
And that sentiment that Brian just expressed is why we're doing this fucking bracket, because this actors gives us like fucking happiness. Joe, where are you going with the Pete versus William?
It's a tough
matchup.
Yeah, this could be a final. You know what I mean?
So
if this was the last match, I'd believe it.
Fichtner, I don't know. They each have their own cut, like of the cloth.
Now, Joe, before you make your argument, let me give you two more movies, one movie apiece each of them were in, that Jusef just failed to not talk about. Peter Stormare.
I'm sorry that my spreadsheet wasn't enough for you.
Peter Stormare, as I like to call him, was in Bad Boys 2 as the Russian bad guy. Remember that? And then William Fichter originally was cast as Shredder in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot. So just,
No, you're not wrong about that.
Did you mention Go? Did you say Go?
I actually think Stormare gets the edge for me for being for John Wick was the turning. I cannot hear like John Wick and go, Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
Well, I also like that he's
a
kind
man
of a cameo in that. It's like we need a guy who's just the biggest stereotype. Who's the best we can hire out?
He's a man of determination, a man of will.
He looks foreign, angry, and a bad guy.
And
Peter.
Who's been doing it for 20 years, baby?
You know what, TJ? You know what, Jusef? As much work you did, you are wrong for not putting Bad Boys 2 on that because he Bad Boys 2.
I'm sorry. Fichter's let's eliminate Drive Angry because that's a piece of shit movie.
Oh, I was gonna say Fichter's great because I think of him in like Drive Angry and just being that smooth fucking accountant guy.
All right, Brian. Wait, did you go with Peter, right?
I won't Peter.
All right, Brian.
Now, you guys hurt my feelings because everybody keeps bringing up Drive Angry when Bill Fichtner, but I think Bill Fichtner's best flyover appearance is in Drowning Mona because I love him as the put upon husband. I love his whole. I just love his whole vibe in that movie. He's so funny, and I like I said, I liked him in Go. I love the whole his whole thing in Go, where you think he's kind of like this intimidating cop, and it's all that he's trying to get him to sell Amway for him and shit. It's like a pyramid scheme. That's great. Like I said, cheered when he showed up in Dark Knight. But when it comes right down to it, Drowning Mona aside, if you literally just put Fargo and Lucifer from Constantine up against, that's going to be a really hard combo to beat. Yeah. The man has like 6 lines or something, 8 lines in Fargo, and it's just like sits atop cinema history because he's so memorable. Like the moments that he appears are so good. It's hard. It's so hard. So yeah, Peter Stormare for me as well.
Ooh, I agree. So 2 for Peter. We're not going to need you, TJ, because I'm going to vote for Peter. And I'm going to say my arguments if I need them in the next round. So Peter has 3 votes. TJ, would you agree with that? Or would you?
I would have went with I would have went with Peter. Fichter, I enjoy. He can play a redneck or a fisherman in Perfect Storm. Then he can play a suited guy in any fucking movie you want. So he's perfect character.
Who he reminds me of? He's a real Barry Pepper type. Barry Pepper and Bill Fichtner they got a similar vibe.
What happened to Barry Pepper? He was in
every dad. He was just in Crawl. That's what happened to him. He was the dad in Crawl.
He was in every dad movie from like 2000 to like 2006.
I liked him in 61 when he was because he played Roger Maris in 61. Yeah. You know, like my baseball movies.
He has for those faces.
All right, let's move on.
61, directed by Billy Crystal.
That's right.
So our next matchup, we have our flyover veteran Keith David from The Quick and the Dead
How do we not put Tom Atkins on here, right?
They Live. Oh my God, that's such a huge
Huge
Like as soon as you said a flyover, like I was like, oh my God.
oversight. So fuck.
Okay, now we have to do a best Tom Atkins movie bracket out of penance.
Yeah. If
not a bad idea.
If not, we're gonna lose our 10 viewers if we don't do that. The curse will live. So Keith David is from They Live, Pitch Black, The Thing, Armageddon, and The Quick and the Dead, and a shit ton of other movies that I'm not gonna mention. If I didn't mention the one that you like, TJ, I'm sorry. Fuck you. He's going up against Margo, Martindale from Walk Hard, The Americans, New Girl, BoJack, The Hours, and a bunch of other stuff. But we really love her in Walk Hard. She is Dewey's mom. So, Brian, I think this is the landslide that I predicted, even though Peter ended up being a fucking landslide. So, Keith or Margo, where are you going?
Yeah, I mean, I love Margo Martindale. She's great, and she's like one of those like solid, like you always know what you're gonna get. She's always gonna kill it, no sweat. But like, come on, Keith David, you didn't even mention something about Mary. You didn't even mention Goliath from Gargoyles. We talked about that voiceover.
I said I'm not gonna mention his entire fucking credits, dude. It's 180 something.
Now, to be fair, Margo Martindale has also made the leap, and she did BoJack Horseman, but she's playing herself too. That's so you get a little bit of there's like a little bit of leeway there.
I just want to. I thought it was nice to see Margo Martindale have a sense of humor about herself.
Yeah,
right about like where her position in the world is. Like,
yeah,
literally refers to herself as character actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can't vote against Keith David. No, you didn't say The Thing.
Said The Thing. I said.
Oh, we are missing one. We are missing one giant character actor on here. That's Stephen Tobolewsky. Speaking of jokes and TV shows,
I mentioned him in my honorable mentions.
Oh, did you? I missed it.
Oh, yo, you thought you fucking outsmarted us, didn't you? Who has X on his face now, bro? I'm gonna vote for
sorry.
TJ, where are you going?
It's my turn already?
Sure. I already voted for Keith.
Okay.
We already talked through Brian.
Yeah.
Regarding Margo, I want to save Keith's arguments for.
Yeah, Margo Martindale. I mean, probably my favorite role from one of my favorite TV shows with her and Dexter. It's probably one of those heartfelt seasons with him when she knows his secret, and then she asks him to basically euthanize her at the same time.
Key lime pie.
Key lime pie, man. It's like one of the best fucking scenes. I choked up, but
yeah, she's great, and she's also great in New Girl. If whoever's a fan of New Girl, she's mom of Nick, and she also has a good arc with him. So yeah, she's shit.
Yeah, but it's Keith David. It's pretty given.
Joe, it doesn't matter, but would you have gone Keith as well?
I would have gone Keith David fully for There's Something About Mary.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Frank.
All right, so we're moving on.
We're
moving on. We're moving on to one of I think arguably two of the best actors in this bracket, which is Richard Jenkins of The Shape of Water, Step Brothers, Burn After Reading, Let Me In, Cabin in the Woods, and a shit ton of other movies that I'm not going to mention.
No, in the comments, tell him what he missed. Make sure
this is the final.
If he didn't say your favorite movie, he fucked up.
Versus Alison Janey from Juno, The Help, I, Tonya, 10 Things I Hate About You, Hairspray, and a shit ton of other movies. Alison recently won an Oscar for her acting. Richard Jenkins recently was he was nominated for an Oscar, if I believe so. Yeah, so both of them are recognized as one of the best actors, arguably, in this entire list. Maybe Brenden, Gleeson can argue against that, but so it's my turn. I go first. This is legit hard. This is, I think, the hardest matchup of the second round compared to the first round where there was a couple of ones that we had to let go. Richard Jenkins steals movies. He's legit just fucking amazing in all of his roles. Step Brothers, he is hilarious. Cabin in the Woods, his monotone, his banter with Bradley, which he's also in this bracket, spoiler alert, is fantastic. Burn After Reading, him heading on fuck.
I was gonna say I just rewatched Burn After Reading, and every time I watch it, I like it a little bit more.
Yeah,
and it's really great, and he's so good in it too. Linda Litsky, Linda, you're changing.
he's the manager, right, of the gym.
Yeah, of Hard Bodies, where Brad Pitt and Linda Litsky work.
So if I wanted to talk about Alison is fantastic. She's hilarious in Juno, and she is funny in 10 Things I Hate About You. Underrated movie, kind of a little. I mean, I should.
She have that show with Anna Faris too.
Yeah. But if we were going to talk about I, Tonya, she's literally the only good thing about that movie.
The
That movie fucking sucks, and she's the one that held it together with her little bird and her cigarettes and her cancer. But it's hard to vote against Richard Jenkins, so I'm gonna go Richard Jenkins. She's wonderful and I fucking love her. But Richard is like a juggernaut in this fucking bracket. TJ, where are you going?
Yeah, definitely a hard one. As I was sitting here, I'm thinking about like Alison Janey as the mom and I, Tanya. I was like, could you imagine if she was cast in like Malcolm in the Middle and then her as the mom and the opposite of Bryan Cranston?
That would be great.
Yeah,
so good. Although I like Jane. What's her name? Jane Krakowski. No, Krakowski's from 30 Rock. Kaczmarek. Jane Kaczmarek.
But Richard Jenkins.
That's a great sitcom.
His role in Let Me In, so fucking tragic, and like you don't even realize it's him at first. Because like I think I watched that after I've already seen Step Brothers and stuff like that. I'm not saying I don't think they came out nearly close to each other.
They came out close enough.
I think 2008 is Step Brothers and 2011 maybe is Let Me In.
Yeah, they came out close enough.
So like I'm sitting there and I'm watching. It's like, oh shit, that's the fucking dad, and you feel bad for him half the time, but then he's murdering people, and that's just one movie I'm talking about. But I mean, Shape of Water for me is probably the role that just put him fucking on the map. Got nominated for the Oscar. The whole scene where he's getting pie, and it's so fucking sad. It's Richard Jenkins. That's it. I'll save the rest of it for later. I love Alison Janey. She's great in Juno and stuff like that, but Richard Jenkins, I think, like is out there is the definition of character actor. There's like a few pictures you see next to the name.
Well, sorry, my mic fell. My things are falling. Joe, where are you going?
I'm just gonna save it. I'm gonna say Richard Jenkins, one of my favorite actors. Only thing I want to say about Alison Janey, she was a good in I, Tonya, but lost me when she got up to go take her Oscar or Golden Globe or whatever it was and try to tell us that Tonya Harding is a good person and everyone should be ashamed of themselves.
That's a bad look. That's not a good
Remember
look.
that? Because I remember that. And I was like, ooh, like, you're not going to convince me because you got to
honey,
know
she
her.
did that shit.
I was like, you should all be ashamed of yourself. Thank you for my award. And I'm like, oh. So anyway, but Richard Jenkins, I'll save it for later because I have a feeling I'm going to be arguing him till the end.
Brian, would you have gone differently?
Yeah, I would have made it a clean sweep. I don't even have that much love for Alison Janey. She's fine.
Alison Janey is Toni Collette if she never did.
Toni Collette,
yeah, if
Toni
Alison
Collette.
Janey never did West Wing.
Didn't we already do Judy Greer?
No, I voted for Judy Greer.
All right, so next up we have Harry Dean Stanton of Red Dawn fame. We have a lot of actors here from movies that we've done in the past. He's from Alien, Green Mile, Escape from New York, Psychopath, and a shit ton of other movies because he's the whole.
You all just know him as the guy from Avengers. Come on.
That's it.
Yeah, he's the one who finds Mark Ruffalo.
If you only know him from Avengers, go throw yourself off a hill. So the next one, he's going up against Brenden Gleeson from Braveheart, Lake Placid, MI2, 28 Days Later, the Harry Potter franchise, Gangs of New York, In Bruges. He's in so many guys.
Paddington 2!
And kills it in Paddington 2 as Chef. So yeah, we start in with TJ, right? Yeah, TJ, what's up, my man?
It only makes sense. Harry D. Stanton is a great character actor. He's been tons of fucking things, even if he says a line. But it's like one of those things too. Like in some things, maybe he's not as memorable. Like there are people that can remember him in fucking Avengers and don't remember him in like Place Beyond the Pines and like shit like that and like the smaller roles that he had. But
You know who's the modern Harry Dean Stanton? Tim Blake Nelson. That's our Harry Dean Stanton for like our generation.
That's a good.
Yeah.
He could have easily been on this list as well. Shout out, honorable mention, Tim Blake Nelson.
Hey, next time give me all those honorable mentions and we do a 32, and that way I don't have to.
Well, I thought you had it under control. I didn't realize you had a fucked up bracket. I mean, I did when I was looking at it. I was like, "This isn't gonna work. Whatever, he'll handle it."
God damn it! All right, so you're
Super producer.
Sorry, TJ.
Brenden Gleeson, because I want to save all the argument for later, because this is gonna get tough.
It is. It's gonna get hard. Joe.
That's what she said.
I want to shout out Brenden Gleeson for In Bruges.
Yeah, baby.
He's just that is as much as a Colin Farrell's movie. That is his movie.
Yeah.
It might even be more his.
But
I mean, I feel it's a three-headed monster with Voldemort coming in the end and just fucking being hilarious. That's the bad guy. That's the trying to kill him.
When he jumps out of the clock tower and he's still talking to him with half his jump.
Ray Fiennes.
Yeah, Ray Fiennes.
But I got to give it to Harry D. Stanton, and I kind of want to save the.
Yeah,
I want to save like what we're gonna if we talk about more for Harry D. Stanton. I think.
So yeah. Joe breaks the 3 sweep streak. Is officially 1 against 1. Brian, where are you going? Brenden or Harry?
I mean, I just watched Alien again. Happy Alien Day, everybody!
As usual.
As usual. I can pretty much say that at any time. I just watched Alien again.
Didn't need Alien Day.
And man, he's good. And even in Red Dawn, which is not a great movie, he's got a great emotional. Yeah, he's got that. Like the line is so bad, but like he sells it enough that you actually feel for him and stuff. But like earlier when I said that a real great character actor is that guy from a single movie for a long time, and that's like my definition. Braveheart was a movie that was like the first movie that was like, I watch prestige films. This movie won Oscars, so I clearly like it. Not because it has boobs and blood, but because it is a prestige film.
This is high art.
This is exactly. You guys don't have you heard of Mel Gibson director? Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to stick with Brenden Gleeson. So I guess it's up to Jusef now. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, I love Harry. He's definitely the definition of that guy because he is in so many goddamn movies. And one aspect that I love about him, he likes to do a lot of cameos in small horror movies as well.
Yeah.
So you can even do like a extended universe just of Harry Dean and how he connects all the horror movies just by his tiny characters.
I mean, I'm looking at his IMDb, and he was uncredited in You, Me, and Dupree, which is just hysterical on its face. Not the movie. Wow. The fact that he was just uncredited in it.
That's another horror
Everybody
movie.
wanted to be uncredited in You, Me, and Dupree.
I think I said he was in A Place Beyond the Pines, but what I meant to say was he was an alpha dog.
Dude, how do you fucking confuse? Yeah, Justin Timberlake and
I got him and Ben Mendelsohn.
Ryan Gosling are the same people. But it's kind of hard for me to vote against one of the craziest. I mean, fuck. I met this person first in Gangs of New York, and then I met him in 28 Days Later.
I bought a shillelagh because of him in Gangs of New York.
And then I met him in Harry Potter as Professor Moody, and he fucking gave us his son that he's also a decent character actor on his own.
I think really good.
Too.
But I'm gonna vote Brenden and save.
We could have done a whole British bracket of character actors that are in the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
Just people from Harry Potter.
Brenden is gonna come up against somebody big in the next round. So how about we go to the last matchup of the first round, and this is a fun one. This is our white funny guy. We have Stephen Root from Office Space, Dodgeball, Barry, Get Out, King of the Hill, Fargo, versus his fellow Get Out member, Bradley Whitford from Get Out, Cabin in the Woods, Billy Madison, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and the recent Godzilla, and a shit ton of other movies. I believe we start off with Joe in this round. Where are you going with Steven?
He's also a
versus
meme
Bradley?
now. You can't take away, any celebrity that has a meme. You have to
It's a
give
meme.
them a.
This is hard. This is a hard matchup. I'm just gonna move this along. I'm gonna give the edge to Stephen Root, and mainly I want to just call out his his underrated character in Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah, I'm going Stephen Root. I'm gonna save it. I mean, Brenden. What's the guy's name?
Bradley.
Bradley Whitford. He's great. I love him seeing him in Brooklyn Nine-Nine too, as Peralta's dad.
Yep.
But I feel like he really shot to notoriety because of the meme and he was so good in Get Out, and you can't take that away from him.
Brian, where are you going? Bradley versus Steven?
Man, come on. Bradley Whitford is the villain in Billy Madison.
Oh shit, that is
him. Like an all-timer. I mean,
I said Billy Madison.
I know you said it, but now I'm putting it together.
Good. That's really good. And I love him in Godzilla King of the Monsters because he has the dumbest character in Godzilla King of the Monsters who just says all the weird lines that no real human would say. I love that movie, but all his lines are so dumb.
It's like, oh my god, Godzilla.
And Cabin in the Woods.
Oh yeah, Cabin in the Woods. I mean, we had both the heavy hitters. Cabin in the Woods popping up.
Shit, I forgot young him. Sorry, now I'm my mind's blown that's him and Billy Madison.
Yeah. He was like the new Bill Atherton from Ghostbusters, who also could have been on this list too.
Yeah,
but who was he up against? I forget who was the killer he was up against. Remind me what this
doesn't matter. Vote.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Who was the other guy? I can't remember.
Stephen Root.
Stephen Root. Oh, yeah, I'm voting for Stephen Root.
Right now, I thought you were talking about the past.
I'd vote for Stephen Root on the. I'd vote for Stephen Root on the strength of News Radio alone. That's the most underrated workplace sitcom of the '90s.
Yeah,
I've never seen it, but I've heard good things.
I've never seen the final season because Phil Hartman died, and I refuse to watch. I love John Lovitz, but I can't do it.
So, yeah, Bradley in Cabin in the Woods is so fucking hilarious. His reaction to seeing the mermaid coming at him, oh fuck, he's been bitching about not seeing a mermaid killed the entire time he's worked there, and his death is gonna come at the hands of the mermaid, which is fucking hilarious. And Get Out, I would vote for Obama a third time. It's fucking hilarious as well. But yeah. Stephen Root, man. He could literally had stopped acting after Office Space, and just that character alone has been such a thing about. He's permeated the zeitgeist for so long. Just that fucking is my stapler, and he is the voice.
No salt.
And he's the voice of Bob. I want to say the bald dude from King of the Hill, which is really hilarious as well. Like we said,
Bill, I believe.
Bill. So we mentioned earlier, if you're a character actor, you have to be a voice actor as well. So that gives him a little bit of an edge. This is a sweep, unless TJ thinks it should have gone to Bradley.
No, I just want him. I was going to go Stephen Root, but I just want him. One of my favorite lines from Bradley Whitford is in Billy Madison, where I don't know who the other actor is, but the guy who does the weasel voice for him. But he's like, what is Billy going to do down here? I'm starving. He's like, well, I had some wheat thins in the car. He's like, you had some wheat thins in the car? You didn't think I wanted some delicious wheat thins? And I had that whole scene with him.
Who's the guy in Billy Madison that's his it's the number 2 to him. He has that conversation with him. He kind of looks like Harry Dean Stanton because he's great.
Yeah, the kind of the skinny guy. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's great too.
Yeah, he's on the next level down of character actor where I don't remember his name. I'm sorry.
He would make the bunker character corner.
That's right.
So
I would have looked him up if I was doing a bunker.
We are in the third round. Sorry, I wanted to burp, but I stopped myself. We are in the third round. We have some crazy matchups, and there's a juggernaut still waiting in the semifinals. We have Clancy Brown versus Stephen Root. We have Keith David versus Richard Jenkins, and we have Peter Stormare versus Brenden Gleeson. All right, so how about we start with Clancy Brown versus You know what? Since we already talked about Stephen Root, let's give him a break. We're gonna talk about Peter Stormare versus Brenden Gleeson. Brian, you start us off in this round.
It was Stephen Root and Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah, no, Peter Stormare.
Oh, Peter Stormare and Brendan Gleeson. Sorry.
Yeah, baby.
Man, two great accents. First of all, you know, if this was an accent versus accent, they would tie. So we're all that they cut out there. Neither of them are big voiceover guys, so they're matched up there too. I can't use that to eliminate anybody. I know this is just going to end up coming down to favorite roles for me. You know what I mean? It's like I want to objectively look at their whole body of work, but then I know it's going to be like one performance to one performance, and you know what's my favorite? This breaks my brain. I think I'm shoot from the hip. I'm gonna go Peter Stormare. I think I love Brendan Gleeson. He's awesome. He has a little less range than Peter Stormare, I think, and I think that could hurt him. He's not that he's doesn't have range, but you know what I mean. Like he's always Brendan Gleeson because he has that look. You can't get away from that. You know what I mean? So he's always going to be a certain amount of gruff and stuff like that. Peter Stormare get a little wackier, get a little more, into the fringe. So I'm going to use that as a very flimsy way to get my vote.
I agree. It's flimsy as fuck because Peter is literally a one-note actor, but it's a fantastic note, and he plays it like a motherfucker.
You can't say that the character in Fargo is the same as the character in Armageddon. That's not one note.
I mean, but the ones that we talked about, the ones that you literally mentioned, two of them when you were arguing to vote for him, which is Fargo and Constantine and John Wick. Sorry, so those three are that sleazy. He always looks like he just came out of a sauna and
I
wants
agree
to
that
kill
he always
somebody.
looks greasy, but I'm talking about the performance, and I just think Brendan Gleeson always brings a certain energy to every role that has a little less variation in it. It's not bad. I'm not knocking him. I'm not.
Guys, it's okay. It's okay.
No, that's fine. That's fine, dude. I gotta
find my way to this somehow. You want me to make a fucking decision, don't you?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying you're wrong, but I'm not saying that it's wrong what you're doing because I'm literally doing the same thing, but against Peter. I think Brenden has he has more acting chops. Even if you're gonna argue that it's the same energy, he has better acting chops and a larger range that he can do Paddington and be a lovable, rough, or in Bruges with this hitman with a sentimental heart, or just this fucking crazy asshole that just wants to kill everybody.
Everybody's talking about In Bruges. I just never saw that.
You should. You probably won't like it because you don't like things. You don't like good things. So I'm gonna vote for Brent. I'm kidding.
Oh, I see.
I'm kidding.
I think you really like In Bruges.
I'm gonna vote for. Don't cross your fingers.
I'm gonna not like it on purpose now to spite Jusef.
God damn it, Jusef!
It's so good.
I'm sorry, I don't care. I'm sure it's good. I can't like it now.
Watch out for this.
I'm voting Brenden. TJ, where are you going?
Accents. Let's talk about accents for a second. Who has the better American accent? Brendan Gleeson, Lake Placid, easy.
His accent slips through in Lake Placid a couple times.
Yo, PJ is on the money tonight with his pitches. I just want to say.
Just say. So, and then also I'm thinking about it this way too. Both two great actors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Peter Stormare's character in Fargo, and I'm going to make him physically fight up against either Brendan Gleeson from Braveheart or Brendan Gleeson from Gangs in New York. Now that's tough because one has a shillelagh and the other one has a wood chipper.
Man with that throw.
Brendan Gleeson with that beautiful accent that Brian just threw at us. How could you not do it? Irish, American.
Like a whatum. That's what he says.
Yeah. It's Brendan Gleeson. I love Peter Stormare. He's a great devil for 6 minutes in Constantine, but
yeah,
one of the best devils.
Yes.
Oh, I love his white suits and tar feet.
It's so good.
Joe, where are you going?
I'm gonna go with Brendan Gleeson.
My guy.
I had to take this hit, guys.
As much as I love Stormare, it's like I do think where I got sold with your argument, with everyone's arguments, kind of is the versatility and like just consistently. Like, he's not always the same character, where Stormare is, he's just got really good at playing.
Is he Russian in real life?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's great.
Yeah, I just see he favors that a lot, so I'm just wondering if that's like a thing.
So
Brenden moves on to the semifinals thanks to Joe, TJ, and me watching in Bruges.
Brian, you probably like it a lot.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I can't now. I have to hate it.
So our next matchup is Keith Davis versus Richard Jenkins. Who started? Brian started, so I'm going to start it off.
Well, that means mine's going to be last, right?
Yeah.
Well, just let me vote for Keith David, since you're all going to vote for Richard Jenkins anyway.
All right, so
get it out of the way.
Richard Jenkins moves on to the semifinals.
How'd you know?
I just know.
Okay.
You guys didn't even mention Roadhouse or They Live, but
I did mention They Live, but nobody's listening to me.
Yeah, his role in Roadhouse was so fucking minimal, though.
He was cut out of Roadhouse.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right, so our next matchup is Clancy Brown versus Stephen Root. TJ, start off. I mean, I didn't start. I want to start.
You start.
I'm voting for Stephen Root. TJ, where you going?
Fuck, man. See, this is hard. Yeah. I love Clancy Brown. He has that place in my heart for really shitty horror movies that he just always ends up popping up in and just being a standout. Stephen Root, same fucking thing though, man. Everything he shows up in, comedy, Get Out.
Barry, though.
Barry.
Just Friends.
Yeah. Goddamn Barry.
Stephen Root and Just Friends as the producer. How do you want to fish?
I'm gonna go with Stephen Root.
That's 2 in the root. Got you by the root.
Well,
Joe,
make it 3 in the root.
Oh my God!
Yeah, okay. Well, now I don't feel bad. Now it doesn't matter anyway. So I can be like, yeah, I was gonna vote for Clancy Brown, but I probably would have voted for Stephen Root too.
I feel like Stephen Root probably has voiceover work too.
Sure, yeah. Absolutely.
So
King of the Hill? We talked about it a couple times.
Nobody's listening to the things I'm saying.
I said it. I said you talked about it. I called it out.
So, for those who are good with math, that makes 3 people in the semifinals, and it makes no fucking sense to have a semifinals where there's 3 people. So waiting in the wings, coming out of door number 4.
Just saying what we should have done is voted to bring back an eliminated person who got eliminated. That would have been a better thing to do. Anyway, go ahead and announce what you're going to announce.
We have an honorable mention that was argued against for being too big. So that's why we're bringing in him as a juggernaut to take on.
Oh no! Here it comes.
This is like the Royal Rumble, and then the last guy is entering.
Yeah, we get it.
It is. And also, it's also kind of like a tag team match.
Stone Cold music.
It's like when someone's dead, but they're not, and they come back more powerful.
We have Jake. It's like when Goku goes to Super Saiyajin 3.
No one cares about anime.
So J.K. Simmons is in the semifinals from Whiplash, La La Land, Spider-Man's, Juno. Fuck, he's in so much shit. I'm not gonna remember all of them. And
those farmers insurance commercials that you love.
He is your favorite insurance agent. J.K. Simmons
is a defining role, and I love you, man.
I thought you were gonna say Justice League.
I thought you were going to talk about how he's like the psychologist that they always take the victim to in Law and Order.
Oh wow, yeah, forgot about that. So we have our semifinals. We have J.K. Simmons up against Richard Jenkins. That's going to be a slobber knocker. Richard Jenkins is going to win it. Going up against Brenden, Gleeson, and Stephen Root. So we have J.K. Simmons, Richard Jenkins, Brenden, Gleeson, Stephen Root. Let's decide who's going to get into the finals. This is Dragon. Joe,
Why would you do this fight for me?
You got JK versus Richard.
No.
Go.
The only person you needed somebody with the strength of JK. He's the only one who could come in and rock Richard Jenkins in this
I'm a
round.
little rattled, especially to be their first choice.
We brought in another bold guy to take out the
Richard Jenkins.
Remember when he did that really jacked photo of him? What was going on with that?
Yeah, and then there's like 2 scenes of him in the actual movie. Release the Snyder Cut, am I right? God, one thing I'm like that. J.K. Simmons was the voice of Claus, another Flyover favorite. He's just
Claus won the bracket.
like I looked at J.K. Simmons the way I look at Richard Jenkins, like almost like they're just so equals.
Yeah, that's why it's hard. They're in this
I know. Just give me a second.
Both of them are Oscar worthy.
Yeah, like you guys watched what what Richard Jenkins got nominated for, The Visitor. It's a fucking beautiful movie. He strung it. It's a movie about immigration and a guy learning about immigration through his white privilege.
Did anybody fuck a fish in it though?
No, that's what I'm saying. I gotta edge it to Richard Jenkins just because J.K. Simmons got his Oscar. His success is hurting him.
Ooh, wow! Ooh. Holding up a statue against him. Brian, are you gonna?
I think J.K. Simmons has great comedy beats, but also, spoiler alert, I also am I'm very against them bringing him back as J. Jonah Jameson in the new Spider-Man.
Didn't they already do it?
No, that's what I'm saying. They did it. Spoiler alert. It's just a cheap shot. Be brave and recast.
Yeah.
That's not on him.
He's so good though.
He's phenomenal.
Brian.
Hey, listen, I'm trying to justify the pick.
Brian, where are you going with this one?
What? Who? What? Me?
Wait, who did Joe vote for?
Richard.
He voted for Richard Jenkins, right?
Yeah, because he's a fucking dinosaur. So you're 17. Stop being a fucking dinosaur and get a job.
It's almost unfair to bring J.K. Simmons into this. There's a reason he got left out. He's out of this league now. He's too big. That being said, he's too big for a reason because he's really fucking amazing. And if there's anybody who could come in and knock out Richard Jenkins, it could be him. So I'm going to vote for J.K. Simmons again because I think you guys are all going to vote in Richard Jenkins, and it's not going to matter. So I'm going to go up with J.K. Simmons. Boom.
Brian's writing in Pete Buttigieg and his on his ballot.
Right. Throwing my Justin a mash. Glad to see you jumped in the ring there, buddy.
Just to put my balls on Brian's forehead, I fucking love J.K. Simmons. I really wanted him in the bracket. I'm glad you guys voted him because he's literally maybe the third name I wrote down, and then you all shitted on it saying that he was too big for this bracket. I disagree. He is still a character actor. He's fucking doing insurance commercials. How fucking big are you that you're still doing insurance commercials? You're a character actor. He's a man's man, working man.
Wait. By that argument, Matthew McConaughey is doing fucking...
Oh, he's doing Lincoln
commercials.
He's doing Lincoln, and he has a Wild Turkey show. So, okay? It's not the same thing. You're talking about farmers.
That's cafe.
Now you're gonna put the power into TJ's hands.
So I'm voting J.K. Simmons because I love J.K. in Whiplash, and he is J. Jonah Jameson. You cannot recast that role. TJ, where are you going?
Oh man! Of course, he left it up to me. Answer this question for me. What's the last thing J.K. Simmons did after Whiplash?
Oh, La La Land, I think.
So nothing. He didn't do anything. So he didn't do anything good.
So he hasn't been in anything good.
He hasn't been. I mean, he kind of got shafted with. He kind of got shafted with the Snyder thing because he was supposed to be in Batman,
Wait, TJ, I want to cut in on this.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Jenkins also pops up in a great role as an FBI agent, and Me, Myself, and Irene.
Oh wait, fuck you,
solid,
Klaus.
he's solid
Klaus.
in Fairly Brothers movies.
Does.
Dude,
He
Klaus.
was in a movie called Flirting
Claus.
with Disaster.
He was our best Santa Claus last year.
Fuck you, Klaus. Fuck
I
you.
said Claus for.
but I'm answering him.
The most
Yeah,
recent
he was a good voice. It's a great voice, but I mean, come on. Come on. Right now, Richard Jenkins has been in our brains consistently since Me, Myself, and Irene. When was that? 2004? Maybe
Vapor Water sucked, though.
J.K. Simmons, you're just like, oh, he was J. Jonah Jameson, and he was in Whiplash. Just two things you're getting.
He's in Lady Killers. I mentioned Law and Order. We talked about
likes Lady Killers, except
everyone's been in Law.
Well, it doesn't matter if anybody likes it. He's still in it. It's a very comedic.
He was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well. All
right, guys, we're gonna have our first coin flip.
Comes our first coin flip.
All right, so
oh my God.
Heads, Richard Jenkins. Tails, J.K. Simmons. I'm just gonna flip it and put it right into the screen. Where is that? Tails.
Tail to
Richard.
me.
J.K. Simmons.
Wait, that was J.K.?
Yeah.
Heads was Richard Jenkins. Tails was J.K.
J.K. Simmons. Damn.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I don't think you really could cast anyone else as J. Jonah Jameson, to be fair.
I agree.
Yeah.
But J.K. Simmons coming in at the late rounds is like the president not running in a primary.
All right, baby. We got another slobber knocker, and we're starting off with Brian. Who you got between Brenden versus Stephen?
I mean, I didn't get Brenden Gleeson past the last round. I voted against him. And Stephen Root is like an all-timer. So, unfortunately, as much as I love Brenden Gleeson, there's not really much competition in this round for me personally. I'll save what I have to say about Stephen Root for if he makes it to the end.
Maybe I'm being biased or in terms of recency bias, but I always love when a character actor like Steven just fucking blows it out of the water when they give him like that role that he needed to showcase his range, and that's Barry right now. He fucking steals that show. He's fantastic. He does all like
you and the 4 people that watch Barry have seen that.
I have a question.
What? Fuck you, Brian.
Would Henry Winkler be a character actor?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. The Fonz. Oh yeah, he's killing it too, and Barry.
Yeah.
Me and the 4 million
good.
people that are watching Barry, because it's winning a shit ton of awards and it's getting renewed in HBO. Sorry, Brian, that you don't have HBO. You're not watching Barry. I don't have it either, but it's currently free on Hulu. If you have Hulu, cash up. It's fucking fantastic. I'm voting Hulu either.
Honestly, right now you could download the HBO Go app and get a shit ton of their stuff for free. That's how they're doing it.
Because of the Quar.
Yeah.
Because of the Quar.
No. We don't say that word here. We don't say that word. I'm voting Steven, even if Brian shitted on my logic of Barry. Where are you going?
I mean, I knew you were voting with me, so I was like, why not? I was being mean for no reason.
I could have just rubbed in Bridget in your face again, but I decided to go with you, and you still shafted me. What's up, Jay?
Man, now we're talking about 2 different types of character actors, comedic and then serious. I mean, Root has some serious roles. Brenden Gleeson owns all the character acting drama roles. God damn. Now, Brenden Gleeson's my favorite, but you gave him a really fucking tough competition now. And Stephen Root is literally steals the fucking role and everything. In every comedic role, he's just the fucking standout. But Brenden Gleeson's my baby. In Bruges is amazing. 28 Days Later is amazing. It's sad when he gets the blood in his eyeball.
He's in Edge of Tomorrow, too. Remember that?
No, I haven't seen that.
Nobody watched that shit.
Yeah.
It's about 2/3 of a good movie.
It's Gleeson.
Joe, are you going to tie this, or are you going to vote the Root?
Going to the coin?
Nah, we're going to the Root.
Aye.
Ooh.
The Root.
I'm going
Sorry,
to Stephen
Brenden, I
Root.
tried.
Brenden Gleeson's good, but
He squeaked past Stormare.
Yeah.
I want it Tobolewsky or the Tooch in this.
The Tooch was suggested as well as one.
Stephen Tobolewsky could have been a dark horse to win this whole thing. I agree.
So just to say, by IMDb, we are off against J.K. Simmons, who has 200 credited roles to his name, versus Stephen Root, who has 245 accredited roles to the name. So both of them are character actors that have been in the grind since the beginning. But even though I used J.K. Simmons to patch my shitty bracket and to make it interesting and knock off one of the bigger names, which is Richard Jenkins, I kind of find it hard to vote against Stephen Root in this case. Like I said, just Office Space alone is amazing. His voice work, you can put it up against J.K. Simmons, even though his is more recent with Claws. You can argue that King of the Hill one is one of the most underrated adult cartoons of its era. It's always shrouded by
boring people need their Simpsons too, guys.
Yeah, it's shrouded by The Simpsons, but it is fucking hilarious as well. It's very understated. It's kind of I like to compare it to Frasier versus Friends. So Friends is The Simpsons. It got a lot of popularity, and then Frasier had its fan base. So that's kind of the king of the hill for me.
Simpsons is actually a good show.
Simpsons is the best. I will take no Simpsons slander on here. Just move along.
I'm saying popularity. I'm not saying it's bad or good. People keep putting words in my mouth.
I'll put some in your mouth.
I have a left cheek for you. So yeah, Stephen Root. Long answer short. Stephen Root for me. Office Space, Dodgeball. His work recently in Barry. He is the definition of hey, that guy, and he's definitely hey, that guy for me in this bracket. I'm voting for Stephen Root. TJ, where are you going?
This isn't even that hard. I actually feel bad for the guy who came in late to the game and got put up against Stephen Root. J.K. Simmons, sure. I mean, I'm trying to think of like other smaller roles that he's done that stick out, but I can't in my head. It's, I don't know what it is.
Question: if it was Richard Jenkins versus Stephen Root, would it be harder for you?
Yo, yeah.
You jagaloons! You're failures! Failures!
Yeah.
Would you have gone Stephen Root either way?
I probably would have went Richard Jenkins.
All right, so Richard Jenkins has one vote. Stephen Root
dynamic.
We're switching it up. Richard Jenkins is in the finals now. Joe, Richard Jenkins or Stephen Root? Where are you going?
Well, listen, you're putting him back in? That's bullshit.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Well, to be fair, also, I kind of didn't take that round very seriously because I thought you guys were going to push Richard Jenkins through. So had I, who knows what I would have voted if I actually thought about it. So, so if you want to, so you know what? I'll second this. If he wants to put Richard Jenkins in, I'll let it fly.
Joe's scared to vote. That's why Joe doesn't know what to vote for.
I don't know what to vote for between the two because Richard Jenkins is the winner of this bracket.
He is.
Yes, he's the true winner. He's the true king of this bracket. He was fucking robbed.
Get the fucking coin ready because I was going to vote for Stephen Root. So now we're going to end our bracket on a goddamn coin flip like a bunch of chumps.
The yellow M&M stole his.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted.
But J.K. Simmons also Stephen Root was the voice of Zeb Zubler in the Country Bears. Ooh, I don't know what to vote for.
James on News Radio. That's all you need to know.
Stephen Root was in Ed.
Ed TV?
He's also in like every Coen Brothers movie. You want to start naming good? He's even in the good ones. I said J.K. Simmons was in Lady Killers, but I can mention good Coen Brothers movies that Stephen Root's in.
He was in Finding
He's in No Country.
He is? Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is.
He's in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I know it's good, guys, But it's Richard Jenkins or Stephen Root. Get J.K. Simmons out of here. And I like you, J.K., but you came to the party too late.
I agree. That's why I made this.
You only got to buy because Jusef fucked the shit up.
I took that hit from the very beginning. I didn't try to mask it. So we have Richard Jenkins with 2 votes. We have Stephen Root with 1. Brian, are you really gonna vote for Stephen?
Hell yeah, I'm really gonna vote for Stephen Root.
So it's tied, baby. It's tied. And I agree.
I don't know, man. Zep Zubler.
Hey, whoever wins, I don't give a fuck. Both of them are fantastic. Richard Jenkins is my baby, and Stephen Root is my baby boy. But,
all right, we're gonna go heads Richard Jenkins, tails Stephen Root, flipping the hand right into the camera. Head Richard Jenkins.
All right, Richard Jenkins came back from obscurity.
Came back from the dead. This was like you're talking about a wrestling match, and like this was like Stephen Root got taken out on a stretcher, but then he jumped up off the stretcher at the last minute, came running back to the ring and won.
Mankind. He is Mankind, but he actually won instead of being killed again.
Instead of just getting hurt worse.
This is Stephen Root's character in the Country Bears behind me.
We can only see his mouth.
Yeah, well, I can't crop it, so this is the best.
This is our graphic designer.
This bit is weak.
All right, so we had an odd number of character actors go up against an odd number of character actors. We talked about a lot of wonderful people that we love.
And like every interesting bracket, we ended on a coin flip.
Yeah, we did.
You had a mystery guest in the end. He got fucked and he left. And Richard Jenkins came back from the dead to win.
Stephen Root would. Hey, if we'd have left J.K. Simmons in, Stephen Root would have won.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So that's it. The best character actor according to 3 white people and 1 Latino is Richard Jenkins. Where can the people find you, people? TJ.
Oh wait, before we.
Hey man.
Before we what, Joe? What is it?
before we sign off, I want everyone to give 1 movie recommendation from someone from this bracket that you would like them to see.
Oh,
just one. You just pick 1.
Oh well, Walk Hard, Margo Martindale. Walk Hard.
Great.
Everybody should watch Walk Hard. Walk Hard 100 times.
Great, not that hard. I'm going to say The Visitor for our winner.
Oh, In Bruges. Brenden Gleeson.
Fine. I'll watch In Bruges.
It's on HBO.
But I won't watch In Bruges.
I'll give you a login.
Watch Spider-Man because.
All right.
Whiplash. Watch Whiplash.
Now you can do your sign off, Jusef.
TJ, say goodbye.
You guys are on Flyover State of Film. You guys can find me at TJ Dex on Twitter. Enjoy all the stuff we do. We just dropped episode.
Actually, before we go.
This is the worst fucking show. Why does anybody listen to this? This is awful.
I love you too.
Joe, where can the people find you?
You can find me being awful at Shendango1 and reconsidering the podcast, I guess.
I'm reconsidering my whole life.
Reconsidering 2 years of just this.
Brian.
Oh, yeah, I'm on Twitter. Whatever, I do Twitters. Hershkilles, at Hershkilles. That's all. That's the only thing I would plug.
WhyILoveMovies.com. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.